$2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. It is Tuesday. I'm Lawrence. Prez and Teddy covers looking good. Joining us, like always, every day is a good day when Teddy is around. Said no host ever. How are you, my friend?
I'm okay, Lawrence. How are you?
I'm just peachy keen. Don't even know what that means. Steve Merril on today's show. He's talking Reds and Guardians, Yankees and Orioles. It's also $2 Tuesday, and Steve is the $2 Tuesday handicapper. We have Tokyo Brandon with us. He's going to look at the Tampa Bay Rays game and also the Tigers versus the Swallows, a Japanese baseball game, and we end every Tuesday with Dave Sharapan. What did you learn last night, brother?
So they call it ball don't lie in hoops, but we had a little poetic justice in MLB last night. Let's call it that way. It happened on Sunday. We didn't talk about it because the NBA playoffs were more on center stage yesterday morning, but there was an extremely rare occurrence on Sunday in MLB. It's happened 6 times since, I think 1900 in baseball, where a team did not allow a hit and lost the game. The Angels did it against the Dodgers in 2008. The Red Sox did it against the Indians back in 1992. The Yankees against the White Sox in 1990. The Orioles against the Tigers in 1967. And the Colt 45s, before they became the Astros, against the Reds in 1964. So it doesn't happen very often, but Hunter Green threw a gem until the 8th inning, where they gave a couple of walks, and then another walk, and then a ground out, and then the Reds lose 1-0. The Pirates beat them 1-0. So what happened yesterday? Well, they won a game, Pittsburgh, without a hit. So a little poetic justice. Well, they were down 8-0 in the first yesterday against the Cubs, lost 9-0 to Chicago. Sweat for total bettors in that game. They scored 8 in the top of the first, only got to 9. Total was 8.5. But the bottom line is Pittsburgh won. They didn't deserve to win. And the baseball gods gave little justice last night. What about you, Prez? What did you learn?
Teddy, what did I learn? I learned nothing. There was no hockey last night. I made one bet. It was on the Atlanta Braves. It lost. And I just did not spend the night studying sports. I did.
So what'd you learn?
That I watched The Lincoln Lawyer, which is a new show on Netflix with Vivian. We watched 3 episodes. I learned that the kids don't know how to turn the damn pool off or the hot tub. And I learned that my 17-year-old Shih Tzu can't control her bowels. That's what I learned.
Nice.
Can you believe my dog is 17?
I'm taking the under.
Well, she's 18 in 2 months. 3 months, July.
I'm taking the under 18 for the limit.
Well, how nice of you. So basically, Lawrence, welcome to WagerTalk Today. Your dog is going to die in the next 2 months.
Your dog can't control its poop anymore. That's when dogs tell you.
I know, but she actually can control it most of the time. But there are daily, there's, I would say on the 7 days she's with us, she would poop, she would pee inside maybe 3 of those days and poop maybe 1. So yes, but it's not 100% there yet. Anyway, guys, I have a 5% play up in hockey tonight, and I'd like to read a comment from our good friend Revenant. Teddy, you'll like this comment. It ends well for you. I don't know if it wins or loses, but I just want to applaud you on probably the most detailed and complete analysis of a game I've ever seen you do with your 5%. Still not on Teddy's level, but good. Well, there you go, guys. Revenant loved my analysis. I have a 5% play up in the NHL. And the interesting thing about it, Teddy, is it's $2 Tuesday. Steve Merril is the $2 Tuesday handicapper. If you buy Steve's $2 play inside of the analysis, is a 50% discount for my 5%. So, guys, take advantage of that, please. Let's bring him in, man. Steve Merril. Steve. So last week you came on the show. We spoke a little bit about Bitcoin. You said, well, it's not going to, the key is that 30,000 number. And then the show ended and it plummeted below the 30,000 number that day. So I don't even know if I want to talk to you about crypto anymore. What kind of...
Are you kidding me? Where is it? I got the live odds right now. The live odds for the betting market. $30,000, $50, and it just hit $30,045. It is exactly within $45, 30,000 right now. Exact.
I know, but that day I was freaking out, man. I was up to like 4 a.m.
And Prez, that day, I was looking at this last night because I thought we might talk about it because it's $2 Tuesday. That day was capitulation. That was what you wanted to see. It was a hard spike to 28, and it's been 30,000 ever since. And for like the last year and a half, it's only hit below it like one day like it did the other day. That's exactly what you want to see. That's the flushing out. I like it even better now long-term at 30,000 support for that reason because it held. I said for a few days or for a week, it must hold. And that's exactly what it did. You want to see that because people like you that freaked out, that's why it went to 28,000. Did you hold?
Of course I held, Steve.
That old boy. I'm so proud of you.
I'm not selling one. What do we do with the stable coin? What is it? I can't remember the name.
I know nothing about the others. Honestly, don't. I mean, they all kind of tread the same way. Ether went down with Bitcoin. So, I mean, they're all a little different short term, but I'm looking big picture. Bitcoin is obviously the mama and the papa. They're all going to follow that still.
Okay. Guys, Steve Merril is the $2 Tuesday handicapper. He's got an over and under play. It's a 5% play. Your best bets in baseball have been 8-1 this month. You're doing great, man. I'm so happy for you, Steve. 5% play over at WagerTalk for only $2. And inside of that package, you get a 50% discount off of my 5% play. Steve, I'll be wearing my 5% lucky pants tonight. Do you have any kind of lucky anything?
No, I don't, and I do that on purpose because can you imagine if the dog was to run off with your lucky pants tonight, you'd be freaking out. It's one less thing I need in my life. I tell my kids too when they play sports and stuff, like, don't worry about a favorite number, right? Because then whenever you get whatever number you want, it's one less thing to worry about when you move up in the sports. Like if you make the MLB, right? Are you going to really be upset because you don't get a specific number if it's been retired by that team? So, yeah, I try to stay away from the rituals and the lucky stuff. But Teddy, we've talked about this before. Like, if you're really, really in a bad dire straits, right, you just mark it down as a loss, and you got to use permanent marker. If you use pencil, it doesn't count. If you put an L next to that game, even Dave Koken has mentioned this before, so it must work. Got to pick it sporadically, though. Use it sporadically, sparingly.
Teddy, you have anything you do, like sit on a part of a couch, eat a particular food, and wear any special clothing, anything you do when you're like...
My actions in my house or in the sports book or wherever I am will have zero impact on the end result of that game, just like your lucky pants have zero impact on that game.
He's not as powerful as us. That is powerful as us.
If you want to believe it, if psychologically it makes you feel better to wear those pants. Look, I used to have a lucky urinal at the Santa Fe. All right.
I have a lucky urinal at every place.
Year I was out here. Second year I was out here. Third year I was out here. I would watch Sundays NFL at the Santa Fe because I could get a seat there and they had the little TVs. I could watch my own game. I could watch whatever games I wanted to, plus the big TVs. So I'd go there, and if I had a game that was a problematic in the fourth quarter, I would wait to go to my lucky urinal to relieve in that fourth quarter, and sometimes it worked. Clearly it worked one time when I was like, this is now my lucky urinal. But it had no impact on the game, Prez, and I recognize that. You should recognize that. We all recognize that. But it's fine to have your tchotchkes, your lucky pants that make you feel better. But none of it has any impact. No, I don't. At this stage, I don't have anything that I do.
Guys watching this show, when it ends, put up in the comment section what you do to be lucky. Tell us stories. We'd love to hear. We'll read a couple of them tomorrow on the show. So make sure to put that up. And it's fun. I mean, it's fun to read about people's crazy superstitions. Teddy, I do this. I have a lucky urinal whenever I play a poker tournament. If things are, I run to the urinal. If I come back and it went well, I am now stuck peeing at that urinal for the whole poker tournament. And the worst part about it is everybody breaks at the same time.
Sure.
So I'm waiting for one specific.
This is why you don't do it. Exactly why you don't do this stuff.
Guys, put up in the comment section any lucky habits that you have. That would be great. Let's go, Steve. Reds, Guardians. Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I like this play. And, obviously, as you mentioned, the 5% tonight's a strong total. Only had one 5%er all of last year in baseball. I finished number one in MLB totals, units won. Only had one all of last year. I've had none this season. Coming into the night, guys, I did the math. There's 2,996 games. I was like, that doesn't sound good. There's 18 games tonight. So counting tonight, there's 3,014 games the past 2 years. It's only the second 5%er, and it is on a total. But this was actually a side I liked, and I was considering this as a play as well. It's just a bit outside Teddy covers. And isn't it ironic that we're talking about the Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians, and that, of course, is from Major League in 1989. I like the Guardians in this game, and it's a little bit pricey. The reason it's just a bit outside for me is I made the price only around the $1.40 range, and it's $1.60. So obviously long-term, the value isn't there. I had to cut it from my card for that reason. But the one thing about baseball, unlike football and basketball, is that you could think the line is too high, and when the team still wins, it just don't matter in the long run. It does matter in the long run, but for tonight, it won't matter because the Guardians are going to win this game. So I still like them to win here. I think it's a decent play. Starts a little early at 6 Eastern. Look, the Reds went 2-2 to start the season. They then lost 19 out of 20 games after that in late April and May. And then, as teams often do, they won 6 out of 8 right after that. We saw the Pirates do this a year ago when they lost 17 out of 20, and then they won like 6 out of 8. But now they're coming back down to earth. We talk about not trying to catch the falling knife. That was the Reds when they lost 19 out of 20. They lost every one of those games except one by 2 runs or more. They win 6 out of 8 because they start hitting the ball. Offense picked up. Not the case anymore. 2 straight losses with 1 total run scored against Pittsburgh the last 2 games. I don't think the night off made any difference. I think it's a play again spot now for Cincinnati once again. And even though the line's a teeny bit high, it's still not too high at minus 160 with the Guardians.
So, Steve, at the top of the show, I talked about the unique scenario on Sunday where the Reds pitched a no-hitter and lost the game. And it didn't even count as a no-hitter because actually didn't have to pitch the bottom of the ninth. So it was only 8 innings, but didn't allow a hit and lost the game. It's only happened 6 times in the history of baseball. And they have a day off yesterday. Is that a positive for Cincy here? Do we expect the Reds to come out with a little bit of energy off a weird loss like that where they kind of screwed their pitcher and had a day off afterwards against a mediocre team with a mediocre starter like the Guardians? Or is this just Cincy's? It's time to it's time to fade the Reds again. Now they've had their little run.
Yeah, Teddy, actually, I didn't mention that because you talked about it, but I think that's another reason to play against them here. No way it's a positive, in my opinion. It might end up being a nothing, but I don't think it's a rallying point. This is a team that's 9-26 on the season. It's not like they're going to say, hey, guys, let's start playing good today after we just blew basically a no-hitter for our guy. I mean, the reason they were winning games, like I said, for that little mini week or so, 6 out of 8, is because they were hitting the ball. In fact, the Reds were on a 10 straight overrun going into last Thursday, and they went over 11 of 12 until this past weekend when they lost both games. They stayed under because they didn't score more than 1 total run. So Cincinnati's been bad pitching even during their winning streak. The only thing they got them going there was some offense. So the one time they actually pitch well and they don't win a game, it's like, wow, what else can you do? So I think it's a negative and yet another reason to fade the Reds here in the near future.
Steve Merril, everybody, $2 handicapper at WagerTalk, one of the best dudes I know and an incredible handicapper all around. Guys, I've been reading some of your good luck maneuvers, playing lowrider over and over again, and horseshoe. One of our people have a horseshoe pillow that they leave, Chuck Pod, that he leaves facing up so the luck doesn't run out. I'm guessing that was purchased at the airport, but just going out on a limb there. Put your comments up after the show, guys, in the comment section on YouTube, please. I can't wait to read all these comments. So please do that for us. Steve Merril, Yankees versus Orioles. Where do we go in this one?
Yeah, we talked about the Reds, obviously a play against team, definitely the worst team in baseball so far this year. But coming into the season, the worst team was supposed to be the Baltimore Orioles, lowest season win total. And one of the reasons is because they have to play about 60% of their games in division against the Red Sox, Blue Jays, Rays, and Yankees. So just by default, you're going to get about 80, 90 losses right there. Yet the Orioles started the season pretty solid, better than expected. And I've always kind of been waiting for a reason to play against them here and for them to start to fade. Just like the Reds, when they won 6 out of 8, look for them to start to fade again. I think Baltimore's in that spot now. The Orioles have lost 4 straight and now 5 of their last 6. And once again, it's that offensive momentum I like to look at because they're just not hitting the ball well. This team has had 3 runs or scored or less in all 6 games, and that was their win when they won 3-2. Their 5 losses, they've scored 2 runs or less in all 5 games over the past week. Started off with a 6-2 loss at home against these New York Yankees yesterday. Once again, line is high. I get that. It's around the 235 range. So you're definitely going to have to probably take this on the run line and get it down to a run and a half, minus 140-ish. But these good teams continue not only to cover as big favorites, it's something Teddy's talked about. Over $2 favorites have been just blind money in the bank plays. But I've talked about the Dodgers a few times on this show. I did a video this past weekend. Check out my weekend videos for MLB Now this time of year. And I mentioned in the weekend video, and I've mentioned it for 2 years, that the Dodgers, the best team in baseball the last couple of years, if you just blindly play them minus 1.5 or take the other team plus money, you've made a lot of money. And the Dodgers were 20-10 to start the season heading into the weekend. All 20 of those Dodger wins this year have been by 2 or more. 17 of the 20 have been by 3 or more. Yankees have been very similar. They've had a couple one-run wins, but good teams normally win by margin. So I like getting the price cut in half here, take them out in the 145 range, lay the run in the half. And with the road team, of course, you don't have to worry as much about a one-run win, say that fast, because you're not getting that walk-off bottom of the ninth win. So Yankees are my preferred play here. They've won 7 out of 8. Orioles have lost 5 out of 6. And the way to play, it's on the run line minus the 1.5.
So this is something I struggle with in MLB, Steve. I struggle to get on teams after they've already been hot. The Yankees have the best record in baseball. They're 21-4 in their last 25. You've been betting the Yankees, you made a fortune already. But they ain't going 21-4 in their next 25 games. And they're being priced like they're going to go 21-4 in their next 25 games. Now, I feel like I've thrown out the Yankees repeatedly in the last week because I'm like, I haven't rode this streak. They're not going to do this well. And it's cost me. Obviously, they win every game. They had a great series in Chicago over the weekend. They were on my short list every day. I didn't play them once. And I was really frustrated at the end of it. And now they go to Baltimore and win here too. But is there a point at which a team's been so hot or made so much money that the value is legitimately gone? And are the Yankees approaching that level at this stage of the campaign?
Yes, and that's why, it's another game today. It's just a bit outside, right? This is why it wasn't one of my best bets tonight because, like the Guardians, the line's about 20 cents too high based on my ratings. But as I said with the Guardians, in baseball, the beauty about baseball is that they win. It doesn't matter tonight. And I just see them winning this game again. And like you said, you keep waiting for them to fade, but they haven't. They've won 7 out of 8. We talk about not catching a falling knife. That's the Reds and the Orioles. That's why we're fading them. But here, example, we also are trying not to dodge that speeding bullet. And the Yankees have been a speeding bullet for that 21-4 run. So until it ends, it won't end. And I haven't seen any chips yet in their armor. I thought maybe we were seeing that last week. And I think you and I talked about this maybe on the MLB show when we were on last Thursday. The Yankees had 5 hits or less in 6 straight games, and they kept winning a lot of those. And I thought maybe that was the fade sign. Since then, in their last 5 games, since I said, actually their last 6 games since I said that, 8 hits, 15 hits, 14 hits, 9 hits, 2 hits, 11 hits last night. They're actually hitting the ball better now than they were a week ago. So, yeah, I think we can still make some more money with them in the short term. There will be a point, though, where they start to cool off. They lose 2 out of 3. That's when you want to probably look to start fading them.
Steve Merril, awesome stuff, man. We love having you on. Anything else? I know. Well, let me just quickly say what's going on with you, because these are really, really outstanding runs. Where is it? 8-1, 8-1 in baseball this month. 14-5 all sport run the last 12 days. 18-8 overall in the month of May. Really awesome, dude. Great work, man. Every time you come on here, you got good runs to brag about. You've had an outstanding year. 2%, 5% play today, guys. $2. Steve Merril. I've done the promotion for you, bro. Get the hell out of here. Teddy covers. You want a pair of my lucky pants? I think I'm going to make 30 pairs and give them out.
When we come back, Teddy's big game breakdown. We'll talk about the Heat and the Celtics. Game 1 tonight. Wager Talk Today continues.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. We've got conference finals in the NBA starting tonight. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Heat and the Celtics. Looking at the Wager Talk live odds screen right now, I'm seeing Miami -2, total 204. Both those lines are painted right now. There's really not much variance at all for Game 1, at least at this stage of the day. I'm in play on the side for the clients tonight. You can get that play right now over at WagerTalk and or SportsMemo.com. But I've got an opinion about the total as well. And you know what the opinion about the total is before I even say it. All right. Game 1, a little bit of a feeling out process for both of these teams. Two teams that are not just good defensively, elite defensively. Celtics, number 1 in the NBA in defensive scoring, defensive field goal percentage, 3-point defense. The Bucks, who were the 3rd highest scoring team in the NBA, they average 115 points a game. They average 88 points in the last 2 against Boston. You saw Game 7. Celtics defense is very, very real. Miami hasn't played since last Thursday. A little bit of rust, potentially. The Heat certainly aren't going to push pace. There's no transition buckets in this game. Both these teams get back on defense. You're not going to see a whole lot of second chance opportunities necessarily because both teams get back on defense. And like Boston, Miami, they allowed the 4th fewest points in the NBA. Number 2 in defensive 3-point percentage. Number 2 in defensive rebounding. The last 8 playoff games for Miami, they've given up less than 106 times. 76ers, like the Bucks, completely shut down by this defense. 88 points a game the last 2. Unders cashed in 9 of Miami's last 11. I think it's 10 of 12 after tonight. Look for the Celtics and the Heat to stay under 204. And there's your big game breakdown. Back to you,
Teddy
Mr.
covers. Awesome. Tokyo Brandon joining us in a few seconds. Teddy, we got a comment from John Clark. Teddy nailed his big game breakdown underdog winner yesterday. Thanks, Teddy. Prez hit his presidential address with the Toronto Blue Jays. Going to roll it over tonight. And yes, guys, what we're doing from now on in the daily presidential address is I'm just going to give out one play and we're going to roll it throughout the week. So last night we had a $20 bet on the Blue Jays at -150. Now our bankroll is $32 and we're going to roll the entire amount again today. Stay tuned for the daily presidential address at the end of the show if we get 100 likes. Teddy, you going to be playing any World Series poker at all this summer?
I don't know yet. Maybe I might play. I mean, the senior event is positive expectation. If I feel like I should be playing the senior event. Other than that, I probably won't.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy to stake you for some of that senior event if you would be so kind as to take my money.
I would not. I'm the The last thing I would want to do is make money and then have to give some of it to you, Prez. I can afford the $1,000 or whatever it is. What's it, 1,500, 1,000?
Teddy, that's your life.
I don't give you $50.
Teddy, every second of the day, you make money and give some of it to me. True story. Tokyo Brandon joining us. I love this guy, man. I love this guy. Were you saluting us?
I am. I'm waiting for Prez's 5% good luck pants to go on eBay, especially used. You can get a premium
I
for that.
I forgot to mention. So
Stinky and everything.
Before the break, I offered Teddy a pair of my pants, and he changed topics like the cool cat that he is. Then we put a commercial break on, and Teddy's like, Prez, you got to send me one of those pants, man. Like, seriously, make sure to put one
I'm sure he did.
So on air, he's cool as a cucumber. Off air, groveling for a pair of my 5% pants.
Absolutely, especially used.
You're a little
it's
guy.
A premium.
You know, I've got legs that are actually, human height.
Teddy, I'm not getting 20, 30 pants made to fit me. I have to get them for Americans. They have to be larger, just by nature. Everything is larger in America. That's how it works. I'm not an idiot. But
it's interesting talking.
What?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. We'll talk about Teddy's skinny legs.
I'm done. I love
it's interesting.
Covers.
Talking about superstitions and things like that, and everyone has these weird superstitions that they use, but it's not like the players playing the game actually know, oh, this guy in Toronto is wearing these pants today, so I got to play a little harder and get that win for him.
Bugger off, Brandon, bugger off. Of course they know. I'm the Prez, for Christ's sake.
I do have my own superstition, though.
Actionable info.
Actionable
Tampa Bay
info.
versus the Detroit Tigers. How do we bet this game?
Tampa Bay versus the Detroit Tigers. So this is I run stats through and I come up with projections for games, and this one just flew off the chart when I did it. Unfortunately, the line is like minus 220 for Tampa Bay, so it's really difficult to play that. But Shane McClanahan is going on today, and in his last 3 starts, he's been absolutely incredible. He's only given up 5 runs, and he has 27 strikeouts and 5 bases on balls. And the Tampa Bay Rays are one of the better teams in the last 30 days, and they're pretty good against right-handed pitching, which they're going up against a right-hander tonight. So I'm in love with Tampa Bay tonight. Money line is a bit steep, even though they're at home. I recommend laying the 1.5 and taking them even though they're at home, because my projections, I have this game 5.5 to 2.9, so I don't think laying the 1.5 will be a dangerous thing to do today. I'm on Tampa Bay minus 1.5, and I sent that to clients. That's a 3% play that I sent to clients about an hour ago.
So on yesterday's big game breakdown, I talked about how Detroit had gotten off to a really crappy start in 2001 and then turned their season around and made money for their backers the rest of the way. And here it is, 2022, and the Tigers have once again gotten off to a crappy start, but all of a sudden, here they are. They've won 4 in a row, and then without a doubt, they're playing the best baseball of the season right now. Is Detroit a team you want to stand in front of? And is McClanahan worth laying this type of price with? I know you talked about his last 3 starts, but the bottom line is his last 6 starts, the Rays are 3-3 in those ball games. You've lost money back in McClanahan.
True, but he played teams that are a lot better than Detroit. I have Detroit the 29th most productive team in the last 30 days. Even though they've been winning, they've been doing it not scoring very much. On top of that, on the road, they're 4-10. So I feel pretty good Tampa Bay can take care of them today, and I don't mind laying the 1.5 here.
Tokyo Brandon joining us. Love having you, man. Let's talk.
Love being here.
Japanese baseball. Just a real quick shout
Prez's
out.
favorite team.
Well, who doesn't like the Swallows? But
absolutely.
61% in Japanese baseball this calendar season, 59% in Korean baseball this calendar season. Very few people in the world win more money consistently than Tokyo Brandon. If you are not playing one of his long-term packages, slap yourself upside the head. Okay, brother, Tigers versus Swallows, talk to us.
Speaking of slapping, I'm really into this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. This is getting quite interesting. But anyways, let's talk about baseball. Let's talk about baseball. So we've got the Hanshin Tigers. And by the way, Prez, the first words that you ever uttered to me, the Hanshin Tigers, were in that sentence. I don't know if you remember that, but we'll get onto that later when we have more time. The Hanshin Tigers and the Yakult Swallows. The Yakult Swallows are the defending champions, and they're a pretty good team. Both of these teams are kind of hovering in mediocrity so far this season. But I am going to play these numbers. Japanese games for Japanese, or numbers for Japanese games, come out about an hour, about 90 minutes before we're on right now. So when they came out, it came out at 7.5 for this game, and I put a play out on the under. Right now, the numbers are at 7. I still like the under. I do a numbers calculation. I do 2 different calculations. I use the pitchers in the last 5 innings and last 7 innings and do a projection there, and then I just use hard numbers and do a regular projection. And both of those projections have this right around 5.5 runs in this game. So go out and bet the under 7. I like the under in this game. I think it's going to go under.
There you go, Tokyo Brandon, everyone. Under in the Swallows. Dude, I've promoted your plays. I've promoted your streaks. Yes. We're now going to say goodbye because Dave Sharapan sits waiting, and we're running out of time. Thank you, Tokyo Brandon. Awesome stuff. One of our commenters, Chuck Pod, writes, Depp minus 110. Chuck, it's more like Depp minus 5,000 based on what I'm seeing. Dave Sharapan, are there any bets being made on this Amber Johnny Depp trial?
Are you crazy? Who wants to book that stuff?
Yes,
You're
I'm
always
crazy.
looking to cause drama. All right? You were minus 110 to even be on the show today after the Maple Leafs lost over the weekend. I figured I'd come on because I'm commiserating with you. The Penguins lost as well. So our teams are out. I'm glad to see you here. I don't want any drama today, please. No drama on Tuesdays. Flex Tuesday, please.
Okay, Dave. Well, firstly, a real tough loss for your team, the Penguins, up 3-1 in the series. They lose. And playing with a third-string goaltender, and not just any third-string goaltender, a third-string goaltender that really had no career. And then they lose Sidney Crosby, the heart and soul of that team. Tough loss, man. As for the Leafs, I already gave my rant yesterday. People enjoyed it. Everybody agreed with me that the Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup next year. It was pretty close to unanimous.
Next year?
I'm just making this shit up, Dave.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we got to bet a future on them right away if they are. I didn't know this. This is good information.
Yeah. Well, it is true. It is true.
You want actionable info? That's actionable info.
Yeah. Nobody's going to believe this, Homer. Anyway,
you're this close.
Tuesdays, everyone. I did biceps yesterday too, Dave. So I'm feeling nice. Feeling pretty good. Teddy, get some actionable info out of this man, would you?
I'm trying, but you won't shut up.
Yeah, that seems about the case.
Mr. Sharapan. Let's start with we got 3 major sports going today. Let's run through all 3 relatively quickly. We have Major League Baseball. What are we seeing in terms of wise guy moves for today? What are we seeing in terms of public moves for today? What kind of actionable stuff are you seeing on the MLB betting board for Tuesday?
Boy, Teddy, you went out of order. I was ready for playoff stuff before this, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll take a quick look. Minnesota, Oakland, overnight 7.5. This morning 7. They went under last night. They were going to probably go under again. The books flipped the 7.5 to 7 to kind of keep you off of it at that point, and maybe other people lay juice over. Unders to play there. Let's see other baseball quickly. Against the Pirates, line came lower today. They're going to bet the Cubs again. The Cubs apparently own the Pirates. That's all I got for you for baseball, Teddy. That's it.
So baseball, we're seeing some early sharp money on the Twins A's under, some early sharp money on the Chicago Cubs. Let's talk about the NBA. 4 teams standing, 2 series remaining. What are you seeing in terms of series price? What are you seeing in terms of game 1 action? It looks like there's pretty balanced action for tonight's game, but do the wise guys like Dallas in game 1 against Golden State?
That's a good question. Tonight's action is weird because the series price is so high on Boston. And they don't have home court, but they're the big, overwhelming. When you get approaching $2, that's big favorite. So books are trying to get ahead of the move there. I don't know. Tonight's a coin flip as far as the game. I think if Miami's going to win a game, it's likely to be this one, right? With Boston coming off that one just on Sunday, them having the longer rest. But the game under is the play. I mean, you haven't seen a total this low in the playoffs. It's, let me see. My screen froze here. What is the total? 204? 204. Yeah, pretty much 204. That's low. So your inclination is to go over. But I don't think you go over. I think you go under. I think you ride with the way Boston's been playing. So, yeah, wow, it's a couple books just moved to 203.5 while we're on right now. Probably to play under there. Game
Nothing like watching
Dallas Golden State. What did you say, Prez? I'm sorry.
Nothing like watching you think live on air.
Yeah, well,
you can smell the smoke.
I like to see these moves. Yeah, it's like, wow, okay, that book just moved. That book just moved. I'm waiting for a text to come, like, play the under. So, that's what was going on there. I apologize. Sorry. Dallas Golden State.
Talk about real quick.
Dallas Golden State. What'd you say, Teddy?
I said talk about Dallas Golden State real quick, if you would.
Play the dog. Anyone that had 5.5 is gone. Okay. I think Dallas is live to win the series. Dallas proved a lot with what they did, winning game 6, game 7. And this is, I called this a brand recognition number when it came with Golden State. That's an overwhelming favorite. Dallas, what if Dallas wins game 1? Are they going to go to the favorite? They're not even going to go to the favorite, and they're going to have home court. They've won on the road in Utah. They've won on the road in Phoenix, including a game 7, blowout. They won by 33 points in a game 7 situation. So, I think Dallas can win the series. I'm not saying they will, but I think that's due for 6 or 7 games. I think they can go. Dallas can win in 6. That's the way the scenario plays out for them. They have a game 6 opportunity at home to win it. They can. Game 1, they played 5.5. They played nothing yet on the total. It's been 214.5. Has it moved? Watch for the games in Golden State to go over, the games in Dallas to go under.
Dave Sharapan joining us. Dave, let's move our attention to the NHL. We've got 4 series still this round. 2 of them start tonight. 2 of them start tomorrow. Are there any series bets you're seeing out there that are worth taking? And also, let's any bets for the 2 games: Tampa Bay, Florida, Colorado, St. Louis, and tomorrow's 2 games. Thoughts?
I'll tell you what, not that there's no sure things in the NHL playoffs. We've all seen this. And a puck bounce this way, a penalty call in overtime. I'm still not sure about that, but I am how you call penalty 3 minutes in overtime. It can decide a series. It happens,
Don't, Dave, but don't go there. The Leafs literally had a goal turned back in game 7 for no reason whatsoever.
I know. I don't want to complain about the officials, but you're right. That was BS. Carolina's beating the Rangers. I don't know what price point you want to lay it, but I know that I got some guys that I know and respect that said Carolina's beating the Rangers. And I agree. I don't know how the Rangers are going to win a road game, let alone two. And I think Carolina can go to MSG and win. So they play so well at home and use that second change to their advantage. Colorado's beating St. Louis. Be shocked if St. Louis wins more than one game in that series. Just don't think
Dave,
that they can match up.
Dave, I want to ask you something. I want to talk. Let's just quickly talk there. We don't have a lot of time, but this is really interesting. The Blues and the Avs. Who was the highest? Which of those two teams scored more goals this year?
I'll guess the Blues. By the way, you asked the question, I would have bet the Avs. But the way you asked the question was the Blues. Yeah.
The Blues scored more goals than the Avs defensively. Who was better?
Who gave up more goals?
Who gave up more goals? The Blues, but it was basically within 0.1. They're exactly the same.
Really?
Dude, Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, Landeskog, who's got a better power play throughout the year?
The Blues, by the way you asked the question.
Correct. Who's got a better penalty kill?
The Blues, by the way you asked the question.
Correct.
I can play this.
Isn't that unbelievable? The Blues are ahead of Colorado in every single statistic coming into this matchup.
Are you calling the Blues?
Fascinating.
Are you calling the Blues right now to win this?
No. I just found that most people don't realize how good the Blues actually were this year. I'm going to shut up now. Quickly finish. We only have 4 minutes left.
All right, very good. I don't think the Blues win more than one game, but apparently the statistics say that maybe they'll win the series. That's pretty impressive. I got to give that one a better look. Tampa and Florida, I'm wearing the Marlins stuff because I don't have any Panthers stuff, but apparently the Panthers are going to take down the Lightning. I don't think they are, but a lot of sharp guys have played Florida. They've told me that Florida's going to win, that this is the end of the run for the Lightning. Okay. I'd be sitting in the book letting them bet it because I think the Lightning are going to win. And then the other series in the West is the Battle of Alberta. I can't wait to watch it. I give Calgary a slight edge, but boy, I don't want to touch that one until I see how it goes. I think all those games are going over. All the games in the Penguins Rangers series went over 7 for 7. I think we're going to see a lot of overs in Calgary and Edmonton. How'd I do? That's it. 30 seconds. Did people hit enough like buttons? Are we going to have a presidential address?
Yes, of course we're going to have that.
So Teddy? You know what messes me up? No, I can't get a word in edgewise, dude. Enough. All right. What messes me up is that Carolina and Florida, who's the Panthers? It's Carolina Panthers, but in NHL it's the Florida Panthers, man. Messes me up. This whole Hurricane Panthers,
too many
Carolina.
Panthers.
Yeah. Well,
I know you're in football mode.
Of course,
you're probably going through the Panthers schedule.
We're talking with veteran odds maker Dave Sharapan. You can follow him on Twitter at SportsBKConsig. That's short for Sportsbook Consigliere. Before we let you go, Dave, I want to talk NFL. Win totals coming out everywhere.
Yes.
What are you seeing in terms of early NFL? Where's the early money? Who do the wise guys like? Who do they dislike in the NFL win total marketplace?
We're going to go through that stuff this week with a couple people. We've been so focused on the playoffs and the prices and the things like that, and I got caught up in some other stuff, that this week I got a couple odds makers on my other show, Bostonian versus the Book. We're specifically discussing action on season wins and things like that. So I'll have more information for you next week. Stay alert on the text, though. I'll shoot you the text.
Awesome stuff. Dave, thanks, brother. Hang around. Listen to the Daily Presidential Address. Daniel,
let's go.
Cue it up.
Give me some music.
Okay, guys, just really quickly, one of our listeners writes in the chat room, Prez, are you guys going to be looking at the golf for this coming weekend? Wednesday's show will feature both Dave Koken and Nick Borman, and the golf will be discussed. So check that show out. As for Tuesday's show over at WagerTalk Today, outstanding Steve Merril, Tokyo Brandon, Dave Sharapan, just really top-notch show. Guys, as we spoke about yesterday, I'm only going to give out one play every day.
Yes.
And we're going to roll it through. So yesterday we took a $20 bankroll. We put the whole thing on the Toronto Blue Jays at minus 150. Our bankroll is now at $32. We're going to now take that entire $32 bankroll and put it on the over in the Blue Jay game. That's at minus 105. If it wins, we will have $64, in which we will then bet that $64 tomorrow. We will do this all the way through to Friday and try to 10x our money every week. That's it. Jay's over 8. Incredible show. Teddy covers. I am having a shawarma today. Take us home, bro.
Sure, but you won't be betting $64 if they win tonight because you have to factor in the juice, my friend. But don't worry about that. Juice
factor in the juice.
No, minus 110. Yeah. All right.
My book has it at minus 105, Teddy. You want a Duke?
Nice. Let's Duke. That's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition as I rip Prez for the 14th time in the same show. He's had enough. I've had enough, and I'm sure you guys have had enough. I'll be on NBA Talk with Jay Money, top of the hour, 10 a.m. here on the left coast, 1 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we'll be back on WagerTalk Today tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Stop. Don't buy that Picks package or All Access. Wait, what? Yep. Don't click Add to Cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking Deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.